Math 13 students, welcome to fall semester 2020. You've already seen a little bit of detail. I thought I'd record some more and help you guys get started in your course this semester. This is for the Math 13 course, 9606, 9612, and 1117. So what I want to do today is just go over the course shell in a little bit more detail and try to give you guys an idea on how the course is going to play out and the pacing and the like. So I'm going to ask that you follow me over to my other screen while I share. And here we go. Now, this is what I see when I log into Canvas. It has all my courses here as well as a bunch of other stuff here. I'm going to start right here. This is 9606 elementary stats, but it applies to any of the other Math 13 courses I have this semester. They all look about the same. So if I open this guy up, it will always open to the home page. You've already seen me go over the tabs here, the syllabus, announcement, assignments, and the like. What I want to do here is try to explain, I think, how students should try to interact with this material. So most of the time, students should probably start with the module section. Everything we need is going to be here in modules. It sets the pacing for the semester. It gives us access to the assignments, to quizzes, discussions, and any of the other things that we might need to accomplish our task, which is why I like the module window quite a bit for moving around within a course. We've already started, or will have started, the Part 0 Introduction to Canvas module. It's a very, very short module, 3 days. I'll remind people here that everything needs to be turned in by Wednesday, late PM. Students who have not responded to the discussion here will be dropped. This is how I figure out who's a show and who's a no-show. You absolutely must respond to that discussion within the time frame allotted. Otherwise, you will be dropped. All right, so having said all of that, this is where we'll begin most of our work on any given day. So we have access to our first assignment, the first quiz, and the first discussion. Now, I've already gone over this in some detail, but let me just show you. If I click on the assignment, you're taken directly to that assignment with the links. We have what you need to do submit, what we review, any assessments that are due there. So as I say, I believe this is a very useful screen for moving around your course. I can jump over to the quiz. Take that when I need to. And again, I'm going to remind people it's really not about the grade here. It's really about interacting with the quiz tool, learning how that plays out and works. You're going to use that all semester long. So you got to know how that functions. And then finally, we have our discussion here. There's our first discussion, and you'll have the ability to begin to reply as soon as the semester begins. Let me come back over here to modules, because the thing I really want to convey here is how the course will play out as we really get into the material. I've already given you access to the first module. There's 4 of them all together. There is an exam between each of these modules that you see, and then a final exam down here. The exam at the end of each of these modules, 1 through 3, will go into our grade book. And if you read the syllabus, you'll know that we dropped the lowest of those 3 exams. So let me take a look at our first module. They're all about the same in terms of organization, so I won't bore you with that detail. But I'll point out that we have PowerPoint presentations to start things off. All the important detail is contained either in your text or in the PowerPoints. The PowerPoints honestly support the text, and there are PowerPoints I've created to do just that. They have examples, they have detail, and they should help you move into attempting the homework. The homework is contained in the actual assignment. So let me click on Chapter 1, Introduction to Statistics. This references our text. We have homework coming to us from sections 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. We have a problem set down here. We have directions on how to submit. You'll be taking images of your homework and submitting those images. You'll submit multiple images at one time. You shouldn't have to submit 1 image for each page. In addition to that, we have a vocabulary review and we have review material. The little rocket ship over here, by the way, indicates that these are quizzes. Now, these two quizzes, the vocabulary review and the review material, in each of the chapters we have, they are practice quizzes. So they don't really count towards your grade, but they do give you access to the material and the types of questions that we'll be asking once we get to, for example, quiz 1, chapter 1. So here again, you get access to that quiz. And there will be a window of time to take that quiz. None of this material has been dated yet. It will be come Monday morning, start of our semester. So when we're done with chapter 1, we'll quiz. We'll move on to chapter 2. We have chapter headers as we move through the module. Data exploration. Here is the PowerPoint presentation for the chapter 2 material. I will note that we do not cover all chapter sections, not by a long shot here. And again, we have, starting here in chapter 2, we have technical detail. Let me pull this up for a moment. This is where I place detail on how to work with your calculator. You're going to need to use a TI-84 calculator this semester. Hopefully, you're going to be able to download a emulator that lives on your laptop or your desktop computer. I will note that students who do try to attempt this class using only a smartphone really will not get the experience they need, and it honestly puts more roadblocks in the way of success than a lot of other things I can think of. So you'll see that the pacing for chapter 2 is pretty much the same. We have assignments, we have detail, vocabulary, and review material to take a look at. Again, those are practice quizzes. That's going to be the norm throughout the semester. We've got a quiz for chapter 2 and so on and so forth. Chapter 3. And then here at the end of chapter 3, we have the opportunity to review material before we have our first exam. Exam 1, part 1, we'll take a look at the material that you've seen up here. And again, it's going to be an online, well, it's an exam, but it will be done through that quiz tool that you will have now had quite a bit of opportunity to work with. I'll have more to say about that when we get closer to using it for real for the first time down here. But in any case, that's really what we're going to do. So we're going to go through the various modules, work our way through the chapters. I'll quickly open up these. Chapter 4, 5, and 6, the review for that material. You don't have access to this yet. 7, 8, and then I jump up to 10 because of the way the material flows. Flows much better, in my opinion, when we do that. We don't skip chapter 9. We pick that up in part number 4. That's where we begin our discussion. Then we get chapter 11 and finish up with chapter 12. And as you go through this, again, I'm going to point it out, you're going to note that we do not cover all the material in all the chapters. This is quite a bit different in terms of other math classes you've probably had up until this point. This is much more, once we learn the basics, like a cooking class where we take a look at various recipes to construct various dishes, if you will. The final review here will lead us into the final exam. There is no final exam week any longer at Hartnell College. We've gone to a 16-week semester. Final exams are in the last week of the semester. The semester wraps up Saturday, December 12th. Your final exam will be available for a 3-day window at the end of that week, the week that wraps up with December 12th. So that's really how your class is going to run. You're going to get dates for all the assignments, all the quizzes and everything. You don't have them yet. That's a little bit of an overload, quite honestly. If I end up and go back home here, home, and I take a look at the student view, we'll see what you can see right now. As I say, you start with the home page. You have your syllabus, announcements. Let me go to announcements for just a moment. I will point out that there is an initial announcement. You want to take a look at that and read that. Under modules, if you take a look at the modules, you have access to module 0, that introduction to stats, and you can see there are dates here for when they are due. This is your chapter 1 material, 2 material, 3 material, all of your module 1 material here, and you'll note that there are no dates here as of yet. That will be there come Monday morning. So let me go ahead and leave the student view and get back to my dashboard. And I'll point out that two of my Math 13 classes, section 9606 and 9612, have a co-requisite of a Math 213 lab for statistics. 9607 if you're in 9606 of mine, 9613 if you're in your 9612 of my course. These particular lab courses, you'll have your own little video in just a few moments. But I will point out that yes, you have the same set of introductory assignments, discussions, and quizzes in there. And yes, you essentially have to do that also there. Some of you are going to complain you've got to do it twice. So be it. You do have to do it twice. There we go. Now, I'm going to stop the sharing before it gets overdone. And I'll ask you guys to take a look at this video. Take a look at your course shell. You need to be able to navigate that course shell with alacrity. In other words, you got to know where things are and be able to go there. So let me go ahead and stop the recording and end the meeting. And well, we'll hope to hear from you very, very soon. I'll be reaching out again and again and again. You won't be able to get away. Goodbye.